internet, and today I am doing the unpopular opinions tag. And this was created by Book Archer, so I will link her down below to the original video. Of course, fair warning, I will be discussing my personal opinions. If you do not agree with them, that is perfectly okay. These are my personal opinions and what I do not like. So that's kind of why we call them opinions. If you are hurt by anything I say, well, I'm sorry, and I apologize for you for being so butthurt about another person's opinions. That's kind of part of life. If I'm too harsh with your favorite book, just tell me why. I do have good reasons that I believe for why I don't like these things, and you probably have really great reasons for loving them and disagreeing with me. So let's get on to the video and just start us right off. The first question is a popular book or series that everyone else loves but that you don't like. And for this, I would have to go with any book written by Cassandra Clare. Fair warning, I have read her Mortal Instrument series, and I have read the Infernal Devices series, and I've gotten pretty far in them. Haven't finished either, but finished more than half of both series. I hated these books. I thought they were utter and complete trash. Both series. Horrible and just awful. The characters are some of the dumbest people I've ever met. Not only do they make the stupidest choices in the world, I'm supposed to believe that they're pretty smart and that they're well informed. Like, as Shadowhunters, the Shadowhunter characters still make the dumbest choices. Do not get me started on Jace or Will. And Jace is from the Mortal Instruments, and Will, of course, is from the Infernal Devices. For two Shadowhunters who have supposedly been, like, practicing this trade for their whole lives, they are some of the stupidest people when it comes to their own career and what their career entails and what is actual truth and what is myth. And they make some dumb choices because they don't bother to go to their library and look it up, and I'm supposed to believe they're smart. Then we have the female characters, and they are just dumb. Triss is a little better, but she is basically a wet blanket who has, like, no opinions or does anything important, and she just kind of, like, putters around, whines about how Will doesn't love her, looks at James a little while, and then there's Clary, who I can't even describe the words that I have for this girl. I'm supposed to believe that she is smart and capable, yet all I see her do is make dumb decisions, not listen to others, ignore half of her friends. Like, no. Nope. Ugh. No. Nope. I hate all of the characters. Then there's the plot. The plot seemed promising, but because of the characters and how stupid they are, they make some of the dumbest choices. So that means the plot goes on to some of the dumbest. I'm just gonna calm down. I know so many of you guys love this series. I know it. I know you guys love this series. I hear about it on BookTube all the time. I get in arguments with my friends over this all the time. But I am sorry. Cassandra Clare just doesn't write a good book. I have not seen a single book from her that is good. And if you want to say, oh, she gets better later on, you lying. Because I have read all but, like, the last two books in the Mortal Instrument series and all but the Clockwork Princess book in the Infernal Devices. So I've read a large majority of her work. It's all terrible. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. Number 2, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate but that you love. And for this, I actually had to go on Goodreads to see if there was any series that I really did love that everyone seemed to hate, and for this I found Hitchhiker's Guide to a Galaxy by Douglas Adams is actually a book that people dislike. I love that book. The series of books, it's actually a series. I love all of them. I've read all of them. I have the massive copy with all of the books in one and even the short stories. I have the audiobooks and have listened to them, and I just love Douglas Adams and his humor and the way that he shapes a story. Number 3, a love triangle in which the main couple that gets together, the OTP, is not one that you liked. And for here, I would have to go with Nightshade by Andrea Cremer. And if you haven't read this, this is basically a love triangle between the main character Kala, a boy named Ren, and a boy named Shay. And the whole premise is that they are a bunch of werewolves. Kala belongs to one tribe, and she is an alpha female. Ren belongs to another, and he's an alpha male. And from childhood, they have been betrothed, and now it's coming upon the year where they're to be married. But she doesn't really like this idea, and then she's had to be virginal her whole life, and she doesn't really like that. While Ren can just basically do whatever he wants, and she meets this boy named Shay, who's this new kid, and she really likes him, and she's into him, and I just didn't like it. I did not think Ren was a perfect character, but when you learn more about him, you learn he actually does like and has Kala's best interest, and a lot of the things that are bad traits from him and bad traits in general that makes you not like their relationship has more to do with the fact that in their society, the werewolf society, it's more patriarchal, and it's very much that boys can do whatever they want and girls have to be pure and innocent, and that's what really ruins their relationship. And with Shay, it was very insta love. She was just all for him, and then she was like, but she's never had another relationship or even entertained the idea before, and I was just like, girl, you either need to dump Ren and say, Ren, stop trying to get to know me and be interested in me because I don't like you. I just don't. And like, she just drags Ren along. She's going after Shay, and I'm just like, Shay isn't good because there's some mysterious stuff happening over there. He'll get you in trouble. And lo and behold, at the end of the book, some rather horrible stuff ensues. So I did not like it. Like, I read this book when I was younger, and it did not make sense to me. And I just thought she was picking the worst out of the two, and both had their faults. It is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for, and this I'd have to go with contemporary. Contemporary really isn't my thing. A popular character that you do not like. And because I refuse to use Clary as my answer, I will go with Lena from Beautiful Creatures. Now, Lena, I just didn't like. Her in the first book of the series, she was okay. But in the second book, I think she was just whining too much. And even though her boyfriend, who tells the story and it's from his point of view, kept trying to help her and figure out her problems, because it's all about, like, once you go through witch puberty and then you're either good or evil and you don't have a choice. And that was a struggle in the first book, and now she's kind of an in-between. All she does is whine about how evil she is or how evil she could be, and this boy has been trying to help her and figure out why there's no choice, if she can choose. Does being evil really mean you're evil? Like, does being a bad witch really mean that you're an evil witch? Like, what does all of this mean? And throughout the whole book, while he's trying to help her figure out how to solve her problem, she just whines about it and is like, stay away from me, I might hurt you. And I just could not stand her character. So yeah, no. Number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. James Dashner. He's the one who wrote the Maze Runner series, and I tried to listen to the Maze Runner series on audiobook, and I tried to read it, and I just couldn't get into his style of writing and telling a story, because I did not like how clueless he left you. There should be some hints or some clues somewhere that I can start to try to piece together this story and where it's going and what's going to happen, but he's just so ready to keep you in the dark that it was just not enjoyable for me. And I really wanted to like it because it just sounded so cool. This dystopian sounded so cool, but I couldn't because I did not like his writing. Number 7, a book trope that you are tired of seeing. And for this, I think I'm going to go with insta-love, simply because it's so unrealistic. I am sorry. No one falls in love like a second after seeing them. I have never believed that. Even when I was a kid, I never believed it. It's why I didn't like The Little Mermaid as a kid. Series that you have no interest in reading. And this one isn't really a series or anything. It's more of an author. And that's John Green. Again, I don't like contemporary, and he leans more to the contemporary side. And the subject matter of his books, I feel like, are purposely geared to pull at your heartstrings. Like, no real content there. It's just there so that you can, like, feel something. So intentional in its goal to pull at your heartstrings that it's not authentic or original or even feels natural. I'm saying this while never reading a single one of his books. I am aware of my hypocrisy. The most that I have ever taken in from John Green is watching clips of his movies and then having watched Paper Towns once for my mother's birthday. I'm simply assuming all of these things, and perhaps I should give it a chance, but I would rather not. So the saying goes that a book is always better than the movie. However, what is one movie that you preferred over the book? And for this, I'm going to have to go with The Hunger Games. I liked the first book, okay? The first book was good. That was like honest dystopian. I was like, yes, I am here for this. The second book, I was like, Katniss, why you be whining all the time? Because the whole time she spends the whole first half of the book just whining over her stupid love triangle and whether or not she wants Peeta or whether or not she wants Gale or this or that. And I'm over here like, where's your PTSD? Because you was bound to have some after you survived in that thing. And no, she's too busy complaining about the boys and which one she would rather have. And I tried to finish this book, and this is one of the very few books that I have never finished and have no reason or no plan to finish because I watched the movie, so I already know the end. Those are all the questions offered, and those are all my unpopular opinions. All my social media links are linked down below. If you like what you're seeing on this channel, then please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. Goodbye, internet, and spread your unpopular opinions with the world. Because what would the world be if there wasn't any disagreement?